Today we're going to make the lifted increase. We're going to make a lifted right increase and a lifted left increase. Let's get started. Welcome back to Goodknitkisses. I'm your host Kristen, and today we're going to work on increases. Today we're going to work on the lifted increase, and to tune into the other video for a more invisible increase, you're going to want to look at the make one, which is a make one right and make one left. This is from the previous video, and today we're going to work again with 16 stitches, but we've got 3 stitches for garter on the front and back side, and in the middle is 10 stitches. So it's going to be the same width as your sample from before, but it's got 10 stitches in the middle so we can see the difference. Let's get started. You're going to want a super bulky weight yarn and number 15 needle or 10 millimeter. This is a Clover 15, which is 10 millimeter, or use whatever yarn and weight is appropriate for what you like. And I'm going to get it to the point where I want to increase. So pause until you get where you want. So in this particular sample here, I'm going to knit 4 stitches and make my stitch marker, and I'm going to work with this stitch here, the 5th stitch. It is right along the middle, and then I'm going to make my right on here, the lifted increase right, and then I'm going to do my lifted increase here for the left. So in all stitches, you have got a V shape down below. Okay, so you have your V stitches that surround what's hanging on your needle here. Okay, so it looks like a V on the left side and on the right side. We're going to work with the right side here, this stitch. So we've got one side and the next side. So this particular side of the V, we're going to lift it up and onto our left needle, okay, so that we can now work the stitch, and you're just going to knit that stitch and then knit the stitch behind it. So now you have increased by 1. Now we're going to work in a lifted increase for the left. You have to get to this side of the stitch, this side here, okay? So this would be the right side, and then this would be the left. So what you do is you actually knit this stitch first, and while it is hanging on here, now you can see that when you knit it, this is the new stitch. Sorry, let's pull that away so you can see it. This is the new stitch here. Now you're going to go up and pick up the V here below, because that was the one that we used previous. Add it on your left needle and knit it from the back loop. So you're going to knit the back of it here. And now you have increased it again. So we're going to take our next stitch marker and place that on. So we know we have increased here in the middle. Now we're going to knit our next 4 stitches. Let's work the back side, and then we'll come back along and do it again. Pause your video and come back. So I completed the row and knit the back, or purled the back, and we are on the right side again. You can see where the increase is. It's here and here in these little gaps here. And so it's going to be more gappy than the make one increase. You'll notice now that we've increased, my stitch markers have moved. So depending upon your pattern, you're going to move the stitch markers or keep them. So I'm going to show you why that happened, and that you'll need to move it back if you want to keep it along the center. This is just extra for moving stitches. You don't have to have an extra one to make these lifted increases, but you can. So I knit to where I have the stitch marker. I'm going to go ahead and slip that off and knit this next stitch. So I know that that's where it lines up. So I'm just going to move my stitch marker by 1 each time, because I want to make sure, whoops, I just dropped that stitch. Anyway, I want to make sure that it stays right alongside the middle, and then I will move this next one as well. So now I want to do another lifted increase. Remember, I'm not going through the bar, I'm going through this stitch here, okay? But I want to just slip it directly on. I'm not twisting it or anything. Directly slip it on, knit it through the front of that stitch there, knit the next one, okay? Don't move your stitch marker. go ahead and now we're going to knit this for the left increase, okay? The left lifted increase. So we've knit that stitch. Remember, it drops down, so you're going to go to the stitch below it, which is this particular one here. And I'm going to use my other needle just to show it better. Right here. Just take it and slip it on. And this is the one where we knit in the back of the stitch. You're going to knit the back here, not the front. So go into the loop, knit the back loop. What it does is it twists the stitch in the proper direction. And then now you can continue on knitting. Now let's go ahead and pull that off and move our stitch marker over. And so now we still have 4 stitches in the middle of these markers. Continue on and then work the back side, and I'll meet you back in a moment after I've done several rows to show you what this increase looks like. So I wanted to show you what this looks like, and I've noted where the increases are so you can see these spots. Now when I take them off, I want you to notice that these loops are bigger on the left and right than a standard loop. And this is part of the V. It looks like these are very consistent, and then these look extra bumpy every other one. That's because this is the purl row back here, and then this is the increase row. So this is an lifted increase to the right, and this is an lifted increase to the left. So see how there's new lines of columns coming up of knit stitches here. So it also has a little bit of a gap here, and this creates a gap here. Now what I've done is it looks like one stitch column here, but it's actually in fact 2 stitches. Okay, it's this row of stitches and this row of stitches that makes this one column, because we are lifting from those V's there. So to compare it, you can see, so this lifted increase is going to cause a bigger gap and cause these extra bumps, which could be decorative, but let's compare it to a make one. Okay, and a make one, in order to use these 2 center columns here, it actually moves it to the left and the right of those middle stitches here. So you've got a middle column of stitches and a middle column of stitches, and then it pulls from that side. So that shows you the difference in those 2. And if you want to see the increase for the make one, just tune in to the link below and you will see the make one video. And thank you for joining me again at Good Knit Kisses. Hope you have a great day and happy knitting. Bye-bye. For all of the videos on increases, click below and you will see descriptions for all of them. We have make one, lifted increase, KFB, knit front and back, and yarn over. All right, happy knitting.